when South Korean artist Jungkook of BTS secures a major award that traditionally highlights US pop stars, it inevitably draws global attention. The recent recognition not only cements his position as a global figure, but also triggers an interesting response from American media outlets. Headlines emphasize disbelief, surprise, and re-evaluation of the long-standing dominance of American artists in prestigious award ceremonies. To understand why Jungkook's achievement has created such a large impact, one must examine the structure of award shows, the historical precedents of US artists leading such spaces, the rise of K-pop on international platforms, and the mechanisms that allow an artist like Jungkook to rise above competitors who have historically defined global pop culture. American musicians have enjoyed an almost unchallenged position in the most recognized music awards ceremonies, such as the Grammy Awards, American Music Awards, AMAs, MTV Video Music Awards, VMAs, and Billboard Music Awards, BBMAs. These institutions, primarily US-based, not only celebrate artistic achievement, but also act as markers of international cultural influence. To win in these spaces has often been synonymous with being acknowledged as the pinnacle of global pop culture. That context makes Jungkook's victories particularly significant. His name is not merely added to the list of winners, but rather it shifts the narrative from American exclusivity to true global representation. The immediate reaction of American media reveals this transition. Several outlets framed the event with a tone of astonishment, emphasizing how a South Korean artist managed to surpass the biggest American names who were once presumed inevitable winners. While the headlines appear dramatic, the underlying story is about measurable shifts in how music is consumed, how fandoms operate, and how industry recognition adapts to global realities. This signals a broader question. If American pop stars are no longer the default winners at American award shows, what does that say about the changing structure of the global entertainment industry? Jungkook's individual appeal plays a central role in explaining this phenomenon. Known as the Golden Maknae of BTS, he has consistently demonstrated skills across multiple fields: singing, dancing, performance, and global branding. While BTS collectively redefined K-pop's global outreach, Jungkook's solo recognition proves that his influence is not dependent solely on group activities. American award institutions, which once hesitated to acknowledge non-English artists, now cannot deny the statistical and cultural presence of someone like him. His music dominates charts, his performances trend worldwide, and his presence guarantees extensive digital engagement. These measurable indicators create conditions in which award bodies face pressure to respond accordingly. From the perspective of US media, the surprise stems not from ignorance, but from a recognition that traditional patterns are collapsing. For decades, names like Beyoncé, Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, and Drake defined the award seasons. Their wins were expected, not questioned. Yet, when someone from outside the US achieves victory over them, it challenges assumptions of dominance. Outlets report on this with an undertone of disbelief, not because Jungkook's win is undeserved, but because the framework through which American artists were always prioritized is being reconfigured. An important aspect to note is how fandoms contribute to award results. BTS's fanbase, ARMY, is globally recognized as one of the most organized and active fandoms in modern music history. When Jungkook embarked on solo activities, a significant portion of that fan energy transferred to supporting his individual projects. Online voting, digital streaming, and social media promotion became essential tools in amplifying his presence during award seasons. American media often emphasizes this factor, highlighting the scale and strategy of ARMY's mobilization. However, attributing Jungkook's win solely to fan enthusiasm ignores his artistry and the industry's acknowledgement of his work. It is more accurate to say that his fans enhance visibility, while the quality of his music and performances ensures credibility. American critics are also beginning to note that the music industry is experiencing a diversification of influence. Platforms such as Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and Apple Music create a democratized system where artists from any country can access global audiences without traditional gatekeeping. Jungkook leverages this system. Effectively, his releases reach the top of global streaming charts within hours. His music videos amass millions of views in short periods, and his social media presence maintains constant relevance. In such a landscape, nationality becomes less important than adaptability, creativity, and engagement. That is why US stars face legitimate competition from international figures like Jungkook. The nature of prestigious awards is also evolving. Whereas in the past, winning at an American award show was about reinforcing American cultural authority, today it reflects global market realities. If an artist like Jungkook generates more sales, streams, and online presence than US stars, it becomes increasingly untenable to overlook him. American media may express disbelief, but award institutions must respond to measurable impact. This structural change reflects a larger trend where global entertainment industries are becoming interconnected, challenging the US-centric hierarchy. Furthermore, Jungkook's win underscores how K-pop's global strategy continues to be effective. The genre is not only about music, but about creating a cultural package, integrating visuals, choreography, fashion, and fan engagement. American stars, while highly influential, often rely on traditional music promotion cycles. In contrast, K-pop idols like Jungkook maintain constant engagement with fans through live streams, behind-the-scenes content, and strategic collaborations. This ensures that their influence does not fluctuate between album cycles, but remains consistent year-round. US media outlets observing this dynamic begin to recognize why American stars are struggling to compete at the same level of digital intensity. Another dimension worth analyzing is how Jungkook represents a generational shift. Younger audiences, particularly Gen Z and Gen Alpha, consume music differently. They prioritize global accessibility, authenticity in digital spaces, and high production quality. Jungkook, already a digital native performer, aligns with these preferences seamlessly. American media reports often highlight how his performances trend instantly on platforms like TikTok, creating viral moments that US stars sometimes struggle to replicate with the same efficiency. His cultural positioning, therefore, is not just about representing K-pop, but about embodying the preferences of the youngest and most influential consumer demographic. The disbelief expressed by US outlets can also be understood as a protective reaction to changing cultural identity. American pop has long been marketed as the global standard, shaping trends, aesthetics, and definitions of success. When an artist like Jungkook wins at American awards ceremonies, it destabilizes this narrative. The acknowledgement that a non-American artist is leading in spaces once controlled by Americans forces a redefinition of cultural authority. This is why media headlines often emphasize astonishment. They reflect an industry grappling with the loss of automatic dominance. At the same time, Jungkook's success does not signal a rejection of American pop culture, but an expansion of what global pop means. Collaborations between American producers, songwriters, and Jungkook show how the industry is moving toward hybridity rather than isolation. His projects often involve international creative teams, blending Western pop sensibilities with K-pop structures. This creates products that resonate across multiple markets. American Award shows therefore reward not just Jungkook as an individual, but the broader trend of cross-cultural collaboration that he represents. From a business perspective, Jungkook's achievement makes sense. Global music revenue is no longer concentrated in the US alone. Markets in Asia, Latin America, and Europe have expanded rapidly, creating incentives for award bodies to reflect international diversity. Recognizing Jungkook is also about aligning with economic realities. American media may express disbelief for dramatic effect, but industry insiders understand that it is strategically important to include figures like him who drive revenue in untapped markets.